Welcome back.
Welcome back to Rocket Table.
Back to my channel.
Is that what we're doing now?
No.
We're doing that?
We're not going to do that, but I wanted to say it once.
That's disgusting.
It is pretty gross.
So, back again, another week of the podcast. As you can tell by our melodic voices coming to your ear holes.
Yep.
This week, we actually have a good release out of the Eberron Rising from the Last War.
Yeah.
So, we haven't read that yet,
Woo!
but we're going to spend a couple days reading it and potentially do a episode.
I'd like to do one. Cool thing, anyone that uses D&D Beyond, a lot of this content is similar to the stuff that's in the Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron. If you've got the PDF file for that one, this is now just for those physical.
Yeah, but you still need to buy it. You need to buy it for the adventure.
For more stuff. It's not a very big adventure, but there's an adventure nonetheless.
But we don't know what's going on in it.
Mostly we bought it for the for the new races.
Yeah.
Because there's Warforged, but they added Artificer in there, which I didn't think they were going to do.
But that's also on D&D Beyond. Please, D&D Beyond, sponsor us. We need sponsors.
That'd be great.
Okay, so today's episode, we are theming around the class of the Cleric.
That was my go at healing.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
if I play a cleric, I'll do...
A Herrick? Is that a hairy Cleric?
Like, is it Healing Hands? I think that's the spell, Healing Hands. But I'll be like, ah. And they're like, do you have to? I'm like, yes, that's how I heal you. And so, the voice command? The voice command is not Healing Hands. It's no.
Everyone's crying in the background. Like, please don't, this crazy lady's touching us.
So Doug, what do you picture as a cleric?
A cleric.
You played as a cleric.
Cleric is a person of the Jeebus, of the gods.
Jeebus.
Of the Jeebus, yeah.
You okay?
It's someone who uses their religious standing to get their powers. Similar to like a warlock who has made pacts with demons, but opposite.
But for the heals.
But for the good stuff. Even though there are the subclasses that is for damage and that sort of stuff. Primarily when you're thinking of a cleric, you're thinking of a healer. Like that's just like the generic thing.
But they're not just healers.
Oh God, no.
No, because when you played a cleric, you didn't even do healing.
No, I had to heal you because you guys kept running in.
Fireball.
And I had like the God Light one. I can't remember what it was. I was a cleric of light.
The divine. Is it divine?
Domain.
Domain.
Domain of light. Yeah.
I was thinking divine smite.
No, God no. But yeah, like that was my first character, was playing as a cleric, and in a previous episode, I said that I reckon cleric is a really good starting class because you can play so many different varieties. Because there's 8 domains that you can pick from.
Yeah,
and
8.
It's a hefty amount of domains. How many? Count it.
I think it's 11.
It's 11. You
like
just counted
11
it?
unless you count like Unearthed Arcana. Oh no, Twilight Domain. Yep.
Yeah. So
these are the ones that we're aware of.
Well, those are the ones that are in the books.
Have you got books that we haven't bought?
I own old books.
Okay. So yes, 11 different domains.
So I still think that being a cleric is awesome for a starting person because if your party needs a healer, boom, you're the healer. If a party needs someone who can do range spells, boom, you can do range spells. If you need someone who can like go be a tank, boom, clerics are fucking tanky. Like
what's their hit die?
You're asking a lot from me. I don't think
you should know.
It's 1d8.
I say kind of shit.
Yeah, but they have like proficiencies in like heavy armor as well.
Right.
So it's like
you can like and shields and that kind of stuff. That makes sense.
So it's like a cleric we talked about jack of all trades from the bard last week, and I think like D&D is very good because they've broadened their horizons to allow for you to build it however you want, right? But with clerics, for instance, they really are a jack of all trades without using the feat, obviously, because they fill every role: healer, ranged, melee,
attacker,
tank,
defense,
literally everything, and you can spec into it.
That's cool. I've never played one, so
that's what drew. So now that I've been playing for some time, the 2 years that we've been playing, and I'm more accustomed to playing like tanky characters because that's like my fantasy is like the big bulky dude.
Yep.
Is like it all started because when I was reading the player's handbook when you first bought it was that clerics could do anything, and then so I was like, oh damn, like clerics
that's
are sick.
maybe what I want to do.
Yeah. Like obviously there's like the caveats of has to pray to get like the spells out, and some of their stuff are rituals, so it takes slightly longer. But again, it was really fun. Like that was what the character that we still quote from time to time was my character Cracker.
Cracker was great.
That's the one line that he used to say.
Dwarf cleric, like your classic like roll for a character. Oh, sorry, class and roll for a race. Like was great. He was good. He was super reliable as well.
Yeah. It was.
I just can't remember if you did healing spells.
I had to heal you guys
Yeah,
a couple
fireball.
times.
Yeah.
Just because, like you guys needed it because
yes. 100%.
because you guys kept killing everything. It was
Murder
a
Hobo.
Murder Hobo campaign was
Yeah,
our first
100%.
one. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it was fun to play, but
because you've never played a cleric. Would you ever want to play a cleric?
yes and no. I think it'd be one that I would multi-class with. Their spells are so fucking cool. I will say that. Like cleric spells, like alone looking at the spell cards box he's a thick boy.
Yeah.
Like they have really cool spells. In my current campaign that I'm playing with my friends, Dragon Heist, we have a cleric as well.
Yeah.
And we were level 1 and we were versing a troll. And we weren't supposed to kill it. We were just supposed to kind of run away, if you remember that beginning scene in the Yawning Portal. She killed it. Because she rolled really well. She rolled a critical hit. But like fucking took out a troll on her own. And we were like,
But you're the healer.
What
are you doing?
I know.
Get back in your place.
Yeah. I'm like, holy shit. But the fun thing is she's a healer class, like cleric, with no healing spells. So you're relying on me as the ranger to do that, which is fine because I don't mind doing that.
Did you have all like the bloobs, the blueberries?
The blues.
The good berries?
The good berries. No, I don't have the good berries yet. Though I could go for some good berries. Sorry, maybe we could do that for dessert.
No. Do you want me to shit myself 10 minutes after
I mean,
consuming
maybe.
it?
I do. I almost shit myself when I eat it.
Yeah, but you shit yourself when you eat most foods.
I know.
That's
Back to clerics. I think
that's just
be the
because
same
we're
with-
disgusting.
I think that's the same with like if I was in D&D world, if I could create good berries like in my hands, like good berries, I'd make myself sick all the time because I'd be like, I'm kind of hungry. Good berries.
Like conjure food, and
Yep.
it's always good breeze. So it's like you're about to verse like the big final
Hold
boss,
on, let
and
me
all you
just
hear in the
smash some
background
berries.
is
They're really juicy boys.
sound like the rabid pug that we always like to quote. If you wanted to do it, would you like if you were going to role play a cleric? I know you said you would multi-class into it. Would you make it a certain way? Would you make it serious, or would you make your guy super or your character super smart?
I have only known them as. See, not anymore because we've got a really funny cleric in ours.
Cracker was funny.
Cracker was funny, but Cracker was a serious character, in my opinion.
Well, I'm glad he's dead because you don't have to see him again.
He's not dead. He's just on hiatus.
He's gone. He died from the angel.
Oh, did you actually kill him?
He killed
thought he got-
everyone.
He didn't kill me.
I tried to dive in, remember, with my signature
Oh,
W hands.
yeah.
For some reason, it was a W.
Yeah.
W
Look,
for Cracker.
for the sake of it, I would make them a serious character just because they're a cleric. But to
why?
make it funny
why?
roleplay. I don't know. I think I would. I don't know enough about clerics too much, but like really strong spells, like Fireball, needs to have some sort of like responsibility. Like with great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man quote.
So you're gonna make a Spider-Man cleric?
No, but I would
Could we
take it
do
as
that?
serious. That'd be pretty fun though.
Oh my god, we just opened a
should,
new
like-
revenue.
Maybe we should like find out like if you can produce like a web spell. I think there is.
Well, lucky you say that because in a few episodes from now, we'll be doing a episode on spells and the
Yes.
different types.
That's
so
next week. Is it next week? Week after.
I think
One of these weeks.
yeah, it's coming up. We'll put it out on Twitter
Yeah.
and stuff.
But
But maybe we could do a Spider-Man cleric,
Oh, that'd be weird.
like a little
Try to-
dwarf boy.
Try to do that. Dwarf again?
Yeah, dwarf's the best race.
Maybe. Rude. We've got some new races to play with now as well in Eberron, which will be exciting.
They've been out for a while.
Yes, but I've got a physical.
So now
copy
you
so I
can read it. Okay,
gotcha. Even though I have your D&D Beyond account,
Yep.
I want to read it physically. Voices. I would 100% be doing every single spell. Fireball. Like, you don't need it. You're not healing anyone. I'm like, I'm healing them of the pain of living by killing them with Fireball.
Fireball. Okay, so your character is serious with an angelic hymn voice,
Yes.
like a church
You
choir.
can do them as like an Asami, like a real angel.
Okay.
And maybe Mercy. Here we go.
Oh, right. Okay, so you can actually play as Mercy.
Yes, you really can.
Yeah, right.
What about you? Any serious voices? Would you make them funny?
No, I think
A.
the best way to do it is having like a disowned cleric, like similar from that character from Game of Thrones, the dude with the guy who heals the fire guy all the time. Like he he was very holy, and then he got disowned from it,
Yes.
and then now he's just like a drunkard.
He just, yes. So
So,
he
like,
just constantly brings that one
that-
guy back from the dead.
yeah.
And then he died. And then he couldn't come back from the
He's like,
living.
well, shit.
This is my last life, I guess.
So like that's how I would play a cleric. If I was gonna roll a cleric again, I would do something like that. So I would make it that he like super high in whatever clergy he was, like following a certain god, still prays to that god, but got kicked out because he like had sex with like every hooker in the town.
Yeah, no, that's funny.
And
I
then
like that.
yeah,
What domain would you play it in? There's a lot. In the last one you played is the light domain.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
well, I did light domain because one, I wasn't aware.
Fireball.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of like that you needed to have a healer. It was my first character. I just wanted to play something that I thought was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then like reading up on light domain, it was like deals fire damage and then can enhance spells to deal more fire damage. I was like, yeah, I'm going to
That's
be
me.
the sun god Ra. And then I'm just going to burn these fuckers down.
You're all dead.
Luckily, before I started, you guys just burnt down a forest or whatever
Yeah.
it was. So I was like, yes, this party really needs another fire
Suits
boy.
me.
Yeah. But yeah, if I was, it would really depend. Doing the research for this podcast, I think Grave Domain really got to me, which is like the
Okay.
Necromancer class.
Yeah.
But it's like you heal others that are about to die. So it's like you have to wait till they're about to die.
almost dead, and then you go in for like a mass heal.
Yeah. So like
Right.
how I would play it would be like you just slumber in the corner and then you see a guy who's like two of their
Two hit points
fail.
down. So dash like
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, and I'm like, I have awoken, heal, and it's like max health and back to bed. And sleepy now.
That's funny. No, I like that. You do the thing where you have everyone play as like low level classes who have like a 1d8 or a 1d6
Yes.
points of hits.
Of
And have
damage,
them all half orc, so at least when they go down, they come back up with the 1 point, and
Yep.
then you're like, healing hands, and I'm dead.
and sleepy.
I like that. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to do some more research on the grave domain because that's really heal allies from killing enemies.
Yeah, so I guess you could just,
What does that mean?
it would be like you kill the enemy, you take
Oh,
the
you take
soul,
their life
and then
force.
you use it to kill other people.
That's fun.
So it's like a necromancy sort of thing.
that's
but
really cool.
like as well as like Hunter's Mark, which gives you like extra damage to certain enemies that you do. The Grave Domain does that as well. Like you can give them more vulnerability. So if you have like your big bad has like a invulnerability to like fire damage, you can be like, fuck you, you can take damage from fire now.
Yeah.
Everyone fireballs, and then you're like,
Okay, so you can like work with your players. So if your players are like,
that's a Grave Domain. A light domain is Grave Domain is
whingy fucks. So you could play it as like, all right, what are you? A monk. You have Fire Fist. Done. What are you? Druid. Nah, you shit.
You're not doing
like,
damage
You're not
anyway.
doing damage anymore. You're a healer. And then you'd like find people who have like fire damage.
Very
like,
similar,
right,
yeah.
All our enemies from now on have fire vulnerability. Fucking go ham.
Go nuts.
Go nuts. We're breaking the game. That's how we're doing it.
It's like another one, for instance, of the domains. Sorry to interrupt you, but I hate you, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Is the Forge domain, which is playing to like the fantasy that I love, like Hexblade Warlock, of like you have a weapon and you just fucking put everything into this weapon, and then you hit for like 50 d6s, and then you're like, yes, I did my damage.
Yes, but if you roll shit, you don't hit, and then you get cranky.
So Forge domain is like, it's a forge, like you think of like a blacksmith, so it would be like a blacksmith character. They do fire damage, but they also have weapon enhancements.
Yeah.
Which is either like you imbue it with fire damage or whatever you want.
Fireball.
But like you could get, you're
Did you
super
say
tanky
dousing
anyway.
Fireball.
Yeah,
Then
liquid
light it.
fireball. It's just like a jug. It's like, isn't that an alcohol fireball?
Yes, that's what I was. That's
I
that's
don't.
what I was doing.
I don't drink, so I don't know.
I know
I drink
you don't.
agua and
You're so-
Coca-Cola.
You're so boring.
Yeah, that's all I drink.
No, that's why I meant pour Fireball. Like you don't actually have Fireball; it's just an alcoholic drink. Then the pit is when you hit someone, you go in with a lighter and then light them on fire. And you're like, "Psh, bitch, Fireball. And then they,
They start crying in the
Love it.
background.
and I saw there's a bit there. Cleric's always holy.
What? Who told you that?
You.
What?
Are clerics always holy people?
Oh, it's a question you're asking me.
Yes.
Yeah. Ask it like a question.
Listen.
Ask it like a question. Yeah. Well, they have to be. So
They have to be.
yeah, because that's how they get their powers.
So there's no like Oathbreaker of clerics.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think there is. Nothing that I've read says that there's an Oathbreaker cleric class. I guess if you want it, but
You can like kick out. You can get kicked out of the church, but you still like believe in the god.
yeah, because it doesn't matter if you're like in a monastery or a church. It's your belief is what's giving you the power. So it's like, hey, bro, I really need heals right now, and then it's like, I got you, and then and then like you get the powers. Like, it doesn't matter what your circumstance is.
Yeah.
If it's the strong belief in the entity
That god.
is what.
That god's also like, yo, thanks for believing in me.
Oi,
I got you, fam.
what was it? Yeah, that's it's pretty much.
Chucking
I got you.
deuces.
Oh, I got you.
I got you, bro. I got you.
What you do like healing hands, but just chucking deuces at everyone. Like,
Bitch.
heal. It's the bro cleric.
It's-
He's got a juggle
Crackle
fireball.
was a bro.
That was it. He was dumb as bricks, but that was like
I did
his
love him.
what he was playing as.
How would you role play a cleric? Like again with the healing hands and the.
I've
Is that how
already
you'd-
I've already said how I would role play a cleric. You're repeating yourself.
Not listening.
Yeah, I know.
the
You're the
normal
fucking worst.
Yeah.
So normally at this point we talk about some
Pop culture.
pop culture clerics. You couldn't really
We-
think of any.
None. Like absolutely could not think of another.
But then it got me thinking.
yes.
So we couldn't think of one. We put it out to Twitter, and then we've got some suggestions that we're going to rattle through later on. But I was thinking, do Jedi, would that
yeah, we
count
talked about
as
that.
a cleric?
I want to say yes for the fact that I want to put Jedi somewhere in the D&D world.
Yes.
That I would classify them as clerics because their belief in the Force, aka a god, gives them power to use the
But
Force.
like, even though it doesn't, like, you don't have to believe in the Force to have Force powers.
no,
It's
because
just,
everyone believes in the Force, just whether or not they can access the Force.
yeah. But like, we going off the D
So
and
they're
D
almost born with it, because isn't it? What's the blood?
metachlorians,
Yeah.
which are never brought up ever again,
again.
except for in the first movie.
Yeah. Does that mean then they're the sorcerers? So the the higher the count, the better the.
So my counterpoint to that is, yes, they do. They are born with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, I did air quotes for that if you're watching the VOD, but they're born with it. But they use their lightsabers, which is a melee weapon, as
But
their
anyone
primary
can use
source.
a lightsaber because Finn uses one, but it doesn't mean he's a Jedi.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they're primarily using melee weapons. They're not using the Force as their way of doing damage to people, is what I'm trying to say. So sorcerers
I'd
don't
argue
use...
that.
Okay, we're changing our D&D podcast to a Star Wars podcast. What the fuck do you mean that they don't...
Yes, they are using their the Force. Sorry, they use lightsabers, but they're using the Force to us. Like, so for example, I'm thinking about the Kylo Ren and Rey fight at the end of.
They hold each other's hands with the Force.
but
They
how
don't
do
use damage
kill-
with it.
No, how do they kill Snoke?
With the lightsaber.
Using the Force.
Yes, but it's a lightsaber, which is a melee weapon. They've enhanced it like a cleric does
But no, they're not enhancing the
with
lightsaber.
spells.
The Force.
Okay, think about every other
It's
instance.
like throwing
When-
a knife in the wrong direction and then using the Force to smack it into
You're
you. Are you using
using-
the fork or the Force or the knife?
You're thinking of the worst movie in the franchise, firstly.
It's a good one.
Secondly,
I like
think
it.
about when
You're
Rey
wrong.
and Kylo Ren are fighting all those
Yep.
Praetorian guards.
Yeah, good
they don't
job.
use fucking Force at all.
Because they're in close
Cool.
combat.
What about when Count Dooku and Yoda are fighting? They throw
do-
shit at each other and then
Yeah,
they go
and
to
then they use
fist to
the
fist.
Force.
Yeah, then they stop. What about when Count Dooku was versing Anakin Skywalker? They were using lightsabers. What about when General Grievous was versing Obi-Wan Kenobi? Like, you're thinking of one case which
I
is
can think
very
of
loosely based.
More. I can think of more. Just
Go.
give me a minute.
Go. You haven't seen all 8 movies.
Yes, I have.
Well, there's 9 of them, so fuck yourself.
No, it's not out yet, so suck an egg.
Rogue One, motherfucker.
Han Solo then, so there's more.
Oh, yeah, shit. It's just called Solo, so go fuck yourself. Okay, what's another...
Let me think about it.
Sorry to everyone who listens, like 4 followers that actually listen to us. What other fight in Star Wars? Choose your words carefully because you will be judged for the rest of your life.
I can't think of one right now.
Because there isn't any. So you're saying the Jedis are sorcerers, and then I'm saying the Jedis are clerics.
They're clerics.
No, don't change your mind now because you're fucking wrong.
I am admitting that I'm wrong because at least I'm a grown up.
Yeah, you're admitting you're wrong
Jedis are
because you
clerics.
are wrong.
I was just offering that maybe because they have a bloodline that maybe they were sorcerers.
But if your dad's a Jedi, doesn't mean you're a Jedi.
Yes. Like, I'm agreeing with you. Yes, that's not
the case.
Yes.
Yes.
But it could skip a generation, just like sorcerers.
True. All I'm saying is that you're an idiot. That you said that Jedis use the
Still
Force for
had
damage.
one, because if you're going to talk about how they only mention it once, well, the Metachlorian thing they only mention once as well.
What did I say mention once?
The Force battle.
Yeah,
where
they
use
do
the
it once.
Force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
But
only,
it still counts
but like,
because now it's law.
no, I'm just trying to say is that they use the Force as well, but they primarily use lightsabers.
Yeah.
That's
but
all I'm
anyone
trying
would
to
when
say.
you're in like a close combat situation, 100%.
Yeah. So,
Like when I
oh,
know,
how did they kill Snoke
as
then?
they still killed him with the fucking Force.
How'd they kill Snoke? They
With the
used the
Force.
lightsaber.
With the Force.
They
That's
used
true.
the
you're
picnic
being
basket. Picnic basket. No, you're wrong.
No, I'm right.
Get out of my house.
I hate you.
I will continue the podcast by myself.
Do it.
Okay, back to
Clerics.
Clerics. Back to Dungeons and Dragons. We're gonna start a new podcast where we just yell at each other about Star Wars.
Star Wars, and I'm always misinformed.
But just so everyone knows, Jasmine has never actually seen
I
all
fucking
the Star Wars.
have, and I hate you so much for that.
Only because I bought you the box set so you could watch it.
I'd already seen them all because they were on Netflix.
They're on Netflix. Yeah, right. Whatever you say.
Rude.
Look at my next point that I wrote. Clerics
that counts.
are melee fighters who gain power from worship, like Jedis.
Yes, I'm not disagreeing with that, but they still use the Force to fight.
But not primarily.
No, I'm not.
That's what
I'm
I'm saying.
agreeing.
That's my point. Is what I
I'm
was saying.
agreeing.
Oh my god.
You make my heart hurt.
So okay, so what's the line that you draw between being a cleric and being a paladin, and being a paladin?
Okay, this is a topic that you know more about.
Well, I'm asking you because you didn't read it in time.
Fuck off. I've never played as a paladin nor a cleric because they're shit. You know why they're shit? It's because you played them.
If my paladin versus your druid, I'll give you 2 of your druids because you only play druids.
Don't get fucked.
I would
still
destroy
beat
you.
No, 100%
What
I
are you
would
gonna
beat
do?
you.
Moonbeam, entangling roots, wild shape, and then that's all that you do.
So I'd wild shape
Yeah.
so I could get double hits on you.
I
for
just
a bit
divine smite until.
Yep, until either of us have run out of those spell spots. Then I would stand the fuck back and use Tidal Wave and Earthquake and all my fucking good spells and fuck your shit up. And then, because you've used all your fucking paladin power tally things, you know what I would use then? All my healing hands on myself.
How many spell slots do you have?
A fucking heaps.
No, you don't.
What level are we on? Level 5?
Level 5.
6?
We'll go level 5.
I've got level 3 spells, and level 1 I have 4, and then 3, and then 2. So fucking more than you do.
Cool. My AC is above 20 at level 5.
Yeah, well,
so
my AC
try to
is
hit
also
me.
fucking not high, but
it's
I'm
a
holding
10.
the shield, so suck an egg.
The only reason you bought a shield in our
because
campaign
I realized how
is
fucking handy it is.
because I was like,
oh,
I have a shield plus 2, and then you're like, I want a shield.
I need a shield now.
But my shield's made of not metal. It's made
Not
out of
metal,
wood.
because I can't hold it.
It's like, it's just a tree trunk. It's
I can
like
become-
Thorin Oakenshield.
Yes!
In conclusion,
Thorin Oakenshield's now
he is a druid.
Except he's got fucking heavy metal.
Yeah. So what's the line between being a paladin and being a cleric? I reckon it's the
Divine Smite.
yeah, that's the one. I think it's like the tankiness. So clerics are tanky as they are,
Only because they can wear heavy armor.
but paladins are like
High HP.
just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Also, like their spell differences. Like yes, you can be a damage dealing paladin, and yes, you can be a damage dealing cleric. But it's like paladins, all their spells are like more defensive-y. Like all their stuff is like embracing the damage, like to take
Hiring
it.
your AC and doing things
That
to
sort
like
of stuff, yeah. And if your party members take damage, you're the one that like deals the brunt of it. Or then they have like the auras when you finally get into that at 6th level, I think it is. But yeah, and then cleric is again it's the basic class that you can do whatever you want.
Healing, but then there's a lot of like damage taking, but they're also very much like dealing damage to the opponent, not so much stopping the damage from taking it.
So that's my honest opinion as to why there's a difference between cleric and paladin. Whether that's right or not, but that's from my experiences.
Paladins can also break their oath. Whereas at least if you get kicked out of the church, you still believe in your god and your god still gives you powers.
Yeah.
Whereas if you become an oath breaker in paladin, that's where everything sort of changes.
It does, yeah.
In clerics, it doesn't have that problem.
Well, like we had that campaign, and that was like the one conundrum was our DM at the time said that all the gods left.
Yeah.
So like it was kind of redundant being a cleric in that
Or a
campaign.
paladin.
Yeah, yes and no, but like at least with the paladin they have like their own spells. But like we couldn't play clerics because like
We broke the game.
because and like it wasn't, that was like the whole caveat to his story.
Why wish
was
spells are shit.
that wasn't part of the wish spell.
No, he wished for it. That's what.
Oh,
that's
what it
what
was?
he wished that he was.
That was before my time.
You were there.
That was before I got to learn that.
He told us after.
Oh.
You just weren't listening.
Oh.
He told us.
There you go.
Jack, I listen. Doug does not.
All I know is that
He told us no. So the guy got a wish spell, and he wished that he was the most powerful god or something.
he was the only god or
He
something.
was the only god. Yeah, that's it. He was the only god, and because he did that, no one else knew of him as a god, so he couldn't get worshippers and sacrifices and all that kind of stuff. So that's why he got really, really weak. But that's why all the clerics couldn't use their spells anymore, is because their god had now died or disappeared.
Okay.
So really clever way of writing it, and
It was
I
just-
hate wish spells.
Yeah, but it was still like, if you wanted to play a cleric, it was kind of,
Redundant. Yeah.
you kind of just be like the pleb character that everyone has. Okay, so quick build for clerics.
1d8 for hit points. We talked a bit about that.
You should
to avoid
prioritize
that.
wisdom because that's your casting modifier,
Yes,
followed
100%
by
wisdom should be your top one, and
Yeah.
then I always think dexterity is such an important one to have in there.
only because you suck at
Yes,
dex stuff.
100%.
You always pick characters that have low dex, and then you put dex into
And then
it.
I put dex in there because
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to get out of shitty situations because I'm dumb. And when I role play, I'm like, I'm gonna go run in and shoot a thing. Oh no, it's hitting me. I better be able to run away.
Yeah.
Like that's my idea. So yeah, wisdom, because you need wisdom for history, insight. Is religion intelligence?
I don't remember.
What's a character sheet?
I didn't pull any out.
Oh, BRB, you keep talking.
Sure. So while Jasmine's gone, we can finally bitch about her. So she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's never played the good classes. She only plays shitty classes,
wrong.
like the druid. Just constantly druid every campaign.
Yeah, religion's intelligence. I was fucking right.
I wasn't disagreeing with you. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, why their starting skills are history, insight, medicine, persuasion, and religion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the guys who created the class did that for like a role playing point of view? Like, do you reckon that's very important to playing a cleric, is like knowing that sort of stuff?
Medicine, yes, because even if you're not a healer cleric,
Yep.
the idea that you can make potions for your party
Yep.
instead, so you can save those spells slots for better things.
Yeah.
100%.
So then what would be other skills? If you were going to
For
play a
role
cleric,
playing?
yeah,
Yep.
what would be other skills that you would pick that would coincide with the ones that you're already given as being cleric? Like I'm pulling apart like the backgrounds, like the ones you get from that. If you had to pick two more, what would you pick?
So out of these ones,
No.
so you get
Extra
history,
ones.
insight, medicine, persuasion, and religion. Pick another two.
Yes.
To role play.
Like, would you do sleight of hand and then you would
I
be
was
like,
thinking sleight of hand, but only because of Naruto. So you could do like some sweet like
Sure.
jutsu
Cool. Yeah,
to
yep.
like heal and stuff. Arcana, I
Yeah.
think.
Would you
would
would?
be
Do we
an
detect
important
arcana
one.
stuff?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Probably
Intimidation, because like if
Oh,
you're like
maybe?
a halfling cleric and you're just like at the front and you're just like fear me mortals.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
like,
Like
hey,
I think
bro.
you could. They're like you could get advantage and it's still like that's playing into the race category, not so much class.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like you're a forge.
I
domain.
don't think clerics are intimidating classes.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to play them as that way because there are other if you're wanting to play an intimidating class, there are other classes that you could do that. Barbarian, paladin,
Druids
druids are not intimidating
I know.
in the slightest.
I was taking the piss.
Yeah, well, suck an egg. I would even put sorcerer as an intimidating class, but cleric, no. I'd put them in the same
You're
category as druid.
really on the sorcerer fan train
Well,
after reading about
yeah,
it.
fucking no, because they're like blood magic and shit.
And shit.
And shit. They literally shit.
And shit. Everyone literally shits.
Well, maybe not all the other classes do.
You're right. Yeah. Rogues don't. They don't shit at all.
What other stereotypes would you use to describe a cleric besides healer?
Well, okay.
Real talk.
Okay. I'm just gonna be right back for a second. But I'm gonna think about it while you think of something.
Where the fuck are you going? Oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. The only stereotype that I can think of is literally healer. Everything else kind of goes like
Because like every cleric that we can think of, or like, and I say think of, we didn't think of it, is always like a priest character.
Yes.
And then it gets you thinking like, yeah, but only certain domains are priesty. Like then there's just other ones that do damage or like the necromancer one. But
that's why there was a. Can you pull up those Twitter? That someone did Melisandre, and she's not a priest.
yeah, she is. She's a priest of the light.
I wouldn't call her a priest though.
She's a priestess. You're right. Yes.
Oh my god, she's a devoted follower. Shout out to Shadow Scriptori.
Scriptori, yeah.
Yep. For Melisandre and Thoros, which is the character I think you're thinking of, get their resurrection abilities from their faith.
Yeah, but like even that again, it's like they're priesty, like they're very priest-like characters. But
I don't know. She had a little ghost fucking demon baby come out of her vagina. I think that's very priest-like.
Yeah, she's excreting all the negative energy from her body to be more holy.
No. No.
Sure.
Is there any other stereotypes, or do you just think priest?
Well, okay, so that's my issue. Is like I can't think of any right now. That's why we had such a problem thinking of cleric. Clerics in pop culture was, unless you're just thinking of priest characters, there's just nothing.
Yeah.
Because cleric is always stereotyped into being the priesty healer sort of character.
Because then, like, we have another Shadow Scriptori shout out. Nurse Joy. She actually doesn't really do the healing. She puts them in a machine, the Pokeballs, and then they heal.
But she has like a very good-willed nature that like pushes her to be. Yeah, she chooses
to be a healer.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, she does other things. Like there's that episode where Pikachu's like dying, and she's like, "Let's heal him," and she uses.
So how is that other than being a healer? You just said the one example of her healing.
But what I'm trying to say is that there's other classes that are healers. So rangers and druids and wizards and all that have healing spells. What makes her make...
What ranges heal? What kind of...
Cure wounds.
So they have one spell.
And healing hands.
They have two spells.
Yes.
So they're healers now?
Yes, 100% they're healers.
Rangers are healers?
They can be classified as healers, yes.
Okay.
If they have the choice of like, bards have healing spells.
Yeah, but bards are support characters.
Yes. Yes, 100%.
But ranger's like a damage character.
Yes. But it doesn't mean that they can't be healers as well. So in my party, I'm the healer because no one else has healing spells.
Well, stand up for yourself. Say, hey guys, fuck you. I'm not going to be a healer.
No, I'm going to be one of those like naughty supports on like MMOs where they're like, you're a piece of shit. Why the fuck are you dying? I'll only use your healing hands if you tell me I'm great. Thank you. You're healed. Go away. Mercy. Is Mercy a support?
Yeah, Mercy is a support character. You really need to play Overwatch.
Yeah, I really
You
do.
said the same thing about Lucio last week. You're like, I don't know anything about Lucio.
Shout out to Toxic Titan YT.
For YouTube, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Mercy shout out, which is a really good one. And Dr. Zed from Borderlands.
I don't know who that is.
Neither do I.
Yeah, but still, we got to shout them out because they helped us. The
Yeah.
community is where we need.
had no idea
No.
for other ones. Did we want to we break down some of the different subclasses or domains?
Yes. So we already talked about the
Forge?
light domain. We talked about the forge and the grave. So forge domain, just real quickly, is they imbue their magic into weapons and armor for stat bonuses, using fire as their primary source. What?
Level up. They're leveling up their armor. Laugh at my jokes. I'm so
That's
funny.
not a joke. You just said a sentence. So then grave domain.
Oh, fire immunity. There you go.
Yeah, because they're using forges.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the grave domain is they do better heals when their allies are about to die, and they cause enemies to have vulnerabilities, and they heal allies from killing enemies. So it's like they take the spirits of the enemy to heal their allies, which is like you could play like that would be an intimidating cleric class like domain because you said that clerics aren't intimidating, but if you're the dude that runs in head first and you're killing everyone and then taking their souls to heal other people, that's fucking intimidating. Regardless of what you say, that's intimidating. We've got the knowledge domain, which is
a player's handbook one.
Yep. Which is pretty much everything. And that can be that you get more proficiencies on skills, or you just like the spells that you have are like
Speak with the dead.
for which one?
Knowledge domain.
Yeah, because you're learning information.
Yeah. That's
So
cool.
it's all about finding stuff. So if you're playing a campaign, that would be very much based on like traps and finding out lore and stuff, then maybe being knowledge domain might be good for you because you can find out stuff. Yeah, it would be a good investigator. Like Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes would be like a
Someone
knowledge
had
domain.
a Constantine written down as well, but
As
as a cleric.
As a cleric?
Because it's like
Talks
talks to the dead and
I would say he's a warlock.
spirits. Yeah.
I'd say
A lot of
he's
people put them more in the mage category.
So life domain, which is like purely the healing class, and that's pretty much it. It has the potential to heal yourself.
Less restorations. Yeah.
And then light domain, which is cracker, which is deal fire damage and enhance your spells to deal more fire damage. So essentially that's like the basic gist of it is if you want to deal damage and you want to do like fireballs and stuff, go light domain. Nature domain is it's like a basic version of a druid.
Yeah.
So
Speak with animals.
yeah,
Is one of the spells
and at high levels you can order them to do stuff for you. And you get elemental resistances after taking damage from that element, which I thought was pretty good.
Okay.
So you could be like a tankier version of a druid, and
where
then
you take the brunt force, but then you get immunities, resistance to those.
So like if you're versing like a beholder, and then they like shoot their like death laser at you, it doesn't kill you, and then you're like, oh cool, I've got resistance to death. Like that's pretty sick.
Except I don't think that's an elemental resistance.
As an example,
yes.
poor example, but it's an example. Order domain, which is actually from the Ravnica book. It's you dominate others, forcing them to listen to you and attack when you tell them to. So pretty much you're like the captain. I think it was pretty cool. I think it was awesome.
It's dope. It's brutal.
You do have some healing spells, but it's primarily to target allies with spells, and then they'll get to do more stuff. So this is very supporty, but it's like the leader that's at the back of the party that like
you're dictating what happens.
think of like going back to Nurse Joy.
Look at me. I'm the captain now.
I was thinking more like a Pokemon trainer. Like the Pokemon trainer.
Oh, true.
The less of the fact that they have the Pokemon, but it's like they stand back and they say, I want you to do Quick Attack. I want you to do Vine Whip. Like that's what an order domain will do.
A shitty spell. A
shitty spell, you reckon?
Get him Pokemon in the
Tempest domain. Same as light domain, but it's with lightning damage. And the thunder protects you from attackers, but also allows you to use its power to deal damage. So
I like this one that you've got. Think Thor, but less to do with hammers. So Thor in Ragnarok.
Yeah, the shittest of the films.
Yeah,
in our opinion. I know. I'm calling it.
People are gonna be like unsubscribe, like shitty opinions.
Yeah,
like,
the 3 people that we have.
We need them.
But yeah, like the final fight when they're on the Rainbow Road, and then he's just like punching everyone with like his lightning fists. Yeah, Rainbow Road.
Even though that's the star.
Yeah, but like he's that powerful. And he's on Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I was thinking of the Tempest domain. I was like, yeah, like Thor in Ragnarok when he doesn't have the hammer.
Trickery domain.
Yeah, is that how you?
Shimmers of
Tricky, you reckon?
Yeah.
Tricky domain.
So like shadow clone jutsu.
Yes.
That's dope.
Yeah. But they don't do anything.
Is that a thing that you get like first level?
It's like when you get so it'd be 3rd level, 5th level, something like that.
I mean, that's still like, yes, you say it doesn't do anything, but it makes it harder for them to hit you.
Yes. So it's meant to be a class that is very objective based. So like you would start a fight, split your clone up, your clone runs in front of the enemy to distract, and then you get to a better position to deal damage or get your party to do whatever you want. Yeah.
Is it a concentration thing, the shimmers?
Don't know. I'm going to say...
Which book was it?
The main one? I'm pretty sure it's just Player's Handbook.
That's cool.
I don't remember which book it's from. It's one of them. So if you own everything like us, it's going to be in there. War Domain gives up most of the healing spells to deal more damage. Damage spells and defense spells are what you specialize in. It's pretty much getting very close to being a damage-based paladin. Like that's when it's starting to like cross that line between the two of them. But there's still that difference that we were talking about earlier. And then finally, we've got the Unearthed Arcana beta build of the Twilight Domain, which is leaning towards like the darkness instead of having the light that gives you power.
1 minute.
Of 1 minute of the shimmer, is it? Yeah. And it's still a healing class, but it gives benefits to certain skills as well. So it's like, instead of it being you're using the light to heal you, you're using like the moon or the shadows or whatever you want, essentially. So I think like that's, again, I'm going to bring it back to this point because I think it's very important that Cleric is, I consider it to be a very basic first person to play up D&D,
so many
because you can do whatever you want pretty much. And there's a little bit more to the role-playing side because you have to think about when you're going to pray, when you're going to get back the powers, that sort of stuff.
Why you're a cleric.
Yeah, like, but I think that's what brings D&D back to its like basic roots of like the role-playing aspect of it. Yeah. You're enjoying, like, you make the character and then you tell everyone your story, and then as you play the campaign, it unravels a little bit more. So yeah, I'm still sticking with it as a basic class, like a beginner class. Cleric is definitely the one that I would pick.
Cleric's a really good basic class if you have purchased all the books, but the Player's Handbook alone I think had 5.
That's still, compared to the rest of them, have 3.
2. Most of them only have 2.
Yeah, that's like, so even having just the Player's Handbook, which
alone
who just buys the Player's Handbook firstly?
A lot.
Yeah, but like everyone buys the Player's Handbook and then comes back and then buys the next one.
Xanathars.
Yeah.
But yeah, alone the players, you have 5 to choose from, which is pretty cool. And yes, they are all very different. Yes, there's like a healing element seen in a lot of them.
Yeah.
But like you said, the light domain doesn't really have any healing spells if you choose not to.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really cool.
That's why I think it's fun. That's why I think when I played Crack, I enjoyed it way too much, was that I was so new to the whole thing of D&D that playing something that I could vary like just slightly enough just to be how I wanted it to be led me to be a paladin and barbarian now. But like before, that was like, yeah, I can mold myself how I want to. What, am I boring you?
A little bit.
Is that why? Oh, okay. Let's just do a quick...
to be honest, at the start of the campaign, I was like, I don't think I'll ever play a cleric. Now I'm like, you know what? I might play a cleric one day. Like this...
There's just so much to it.
Has so much, to choose from. Plus the spells are really fun. Yeah. And I love spells.
So that's pretty much it that we've got. We've talked about everything. We're just going to do a quick shout out to the people on our Twitter community that helped us. So at caster_die suggested Martin Septum from Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I'm sorry, we don't know who that character is, but thank you very much for that. We already shouted out Toxic...
Titan YT.
Yep. With the...
Mercy and Dr.
Zed. Bob_Francis. We love you very much. Thank you for all your suggestions. Friar Tuck. Lady Hawk. Don't know who that is, but sure. Brother...
Good and evil cleric, so we probably should check it out sometime.
Yeah.
Because that's always fun.
You've got, Brother Imperius and the Bishop.
Shout out to Radbrad86 for Cardinal Glick.
Glick, yeah, sure. Dogma, yeah. Then Shadow Scriptori did a lot of them. So we've got the Doctor guy from Star Trek.
You watched this with your dad.
Yeah, I'm old. I don't remember.
Not Spock, only because I'm basing that off the gift that he sent.
Yeah, and then Nurse Joy, obviously, and then we've got...
Melisandre is a really good one.
Yeah.
Thoros, which is, I think we're still thinking of the same guy.
Yeah, hopefully we are. But yeah, sorry, this was a little bit different to how we normally do it.
I enjoyed it.
More yelling, more Star Wars based.
Yeah. Another nice and short one.
Yeah.
Heads up, if you haven't already got Eberron the Rising of the Last War, definitely worth checking out. Got amazing new content in there, new races, the new class, which isn't really new, but it's new to physical books. Marks of dragons, which are really cool, and all those stuff. Definitely check us out.
Did you just say dragon marks, but like fancier marks of dragons?
That's what it is in the book.
Is that what they're called?
I fucking read it.
Oh my god!
Ooh, step it up.
Yeah, right.
If you want to sponsor us, hit us up on all our social medias at Rocket Tabletop, and at Rocket Tabletop.
And follow us on Twitter, and we'll put out more polls and stuff when it comes to it. But thank you very much for listening. We'll catch you guys next time.
Catch you next time.